Dive into a thrilling voyage through history, exploring colossal battleships that shaped the world as we know it. Get ready for an adventure as we embark on a journey to visit iconic battleships turned majestic museums. We'll explore the impressive USS Missouri, the lifeline of the Pacific, the USS Alabama, the Lone Star battleship, USS Texas, the longevity record holder aircraft carrier, the USS Midway, and the unyielding USS Intrepid. Let's get going. I'm Steven, and welcome back to Re-Inspired Adventures. Our first stop is the USS Missouri, famously known as the Mighty Mo, a battleship that witnessed the end of World War II. The USS Missouri, a name that resonates through the annals of history, is an Iowa-class battleship, the third ship of the United States Navy to be named after the Show Me State. This behemoth of the sea was commissioned in June of 1944 and served proudly in three wars: World War II, the Korean War, and Operation Desert Storm. The Mighty Mo's claim to fame, however, is her pivotal role in the surrender ceremony of Japan on September 2, 1945. This marked the official end of World War II. The deck of the Missouri, right where it all happened, is a place that still echoes with the weight of that moment. It was here that General Douglas MacArthur accepted Japan's formal surrender, effectively drawing the final curtain on the deadliest conflict in human history. Post-war, the Mighty Mo continued to serve her country. She was decommissioned and recommissioned twice, testament to her enduring value. Her service in the Korean War saw her involved in several naval engagements, and during Operation Desert Storm, she launched Tomahawk missiles at Iraqi targets, proving that even in her old age, she was a force to be reckoned with. In 1995, the USS Missouri was donated to the USS Missouri Memorial Association and became a museum ship at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. She rests now, not far from the USS Arizona, a poignant reminder of the beginning and end of America's World War II journey. Visitors to the museum can explore her decks, marvel at her massive 16-inch guns, and walk through living history. It's a humbling experience, to say the least. Every rivet, every steel plate, every inch of this mighty battleship has a story to tell. A story of courage, of resilience, of service and sacrifice. The Mighty Mo stands today as a testament to the power and resilience of those who served aboard her. Next, we make our way to the USS Alabama, a decorated war hero with 9 battle stars to her name. The USS Alabama, fondly known as the Hero of the Pacific. Commissioned in 1942, in the throes of World War II, she quickly proved to be a force to reckon with. She served in both the Atlantic and Pacific theaters, but it was in the Pacific where she truly made her mark. Throughout her service, the Alabama played a crucial role in several significant operations. From the Gilbert Island operations to the Marshall Islands and the Mariana and Palau Islands, she was at the heart of the action, providing invaluable support to the American forces. Her powerful artillery and the tenacity of her crew helped to turn the tide in favor of the Allies, earning her a distinguished place in maritime history. But the Alabama's story didn't end with the war. After earning her 9th battle star in 1945, she was decommissioned and placed in the reserve fleet. But this wasn't the end for our heroine. Far from it. In the 60s, a campaign was launched to save the Alabama from the scrapyard and transform her into a museum ship. The public rallied behind this cause, raising the necessary funds to bring her to her final resting place in Mobile, Alabama. Today, the USS Alabama stands tall as a testament to the bravery and resolve of the servicemen who sailed her. As a museum, she offers an immersive glimpse into the past, allowing visitors to explore her decks, witness the firepower of her guns, and experience a slice of life at sea during World War II. The USS Alabama is more than just a ship. She's a piece of living history, a symbol of the courage and determination that helped shape the world as we know it. The USS Alabama, a symbol of American courage and determination, continues to inspire generations. Our journey now brings us to the USS Texas, the only surviving dreadnought, and a witness to both world wars. Step back in time with me as we delve into the rich history of the USS Texas. Commissioned in 1916, this grand old lady of the sea was a true pioneer. The very first American battleship to mount anti-aircraft guns and to control gunfire with directors and range keepers, she was an innovation powerhouse. With a length of 573 feet, she was a formidable sight. Her main armament consisted of 10 14-inch guns, and she was capable of a top speed of 21 knots. Not bad for a lady of her vintage, wouldn't you say? But the USS Texas was not just about power and innovation. She was also about courage. Serving in both world wars, she was there when history was being written. During the First World War, she protected the Allied convoys on their way across the Atlantic. In the Second World War, she was right there in the thick of it, providing gunfire support during the Normandy landings. She also saw action in the Pacific, lending her firepower at Iwo Jima and Okinawa. Post-war, the USS Texas had a different role to play. She became a training ship, helping to mold the next generation of Navy personnel before her retirement in 1948. But retirement didn't mean fading away, not for the USS Texas. Instead, she became a museum ship moored at the San Jacinto State Historic Site. Here, she continues to serve, this time as a tangible link to our maritime past, the only dreadnought left in the world. Visiting the USS Texas is like stepping into a time machine. You can almost hear the roar of the guns, feel the ship shudder under you, smell the cordite in the air. She is a monument to the men who served on her and to the naval history of the United States. The USS Texas, a living piece of history, stands proudly as a symbol of bravery and innovation. Our voyage continues as we land on the deck of the USS Midway, the longest-serving aircraft carrier of the 20th century. The USS Midway, christened and commissioned in the mid-40s, is quite the marvel. Her name, Midway, commemorates a pivotal battle in the Pacific Theater during World War II, where the tides of war were permanently shifted in favor of the Allies. But the Midway herself wasn't just named after a significant event. She went on to create a legacy of her own. In the tumultuous years of the Vietnam War, the Midway played a crucial role. She was a floating fortress in the South China Sea, launching aircraft for missions over North and South Vietnam. Her crew and pilots served with distinction, and the Midway became a symbol of American tenacity and commitment. But the Midway wasn't done. In the early 90s, she was called to duty once again for Operation Desert Storm. There, she launched sorties into Iraq, aiding the coalition forces in liberating Kuwait. After 47 years of active service, the longest for any aircraft carrier of the 20th century, the Midway was finally decommissioned. But even in retirement, the Midway continues to serve. Today, she is a floating museum in San Diego, California, educating visitors about naval history and the sacrifices of those who serve at sea. She's a living testament to America's maritime past, with exhibits that span from the engine room to the flight deck. Visitors can explore her hangars, control tower, and even the captain's quarters, getting a first-hand look at what life was like aboard this historic vessel. The USS Midway, a symbol of America's unwavering commitment to freedom, continues to educate and inspire. As we leave her sturdy deck and move on to our next destination, we carry with us a deeper understanding of the crucial role she played in shaping the world as we know it today. We end our journey with the USS Intrepid, an aircraft carrier that served in some of the most intense battles of World War II. The USS Intrepid, or as she's fondly known, the Fighting One, is a storied ship with a history as vast as the oceans she sailed. Commissioned in August of 1943, this Essex-class aircraft carrier was an instrumental player in the Pacific theater of World War II. From the Marshall Islands to Truk Lagoon, from Leyte Gulf to Okinawa, the Intrepid was at the heart of the action. But the Fighting Eye's service didn't end with World War II. After a brief stint in the reserves, she was called back to duty for the Vietnam War, where she played a critical role in Operations Rolling Thunder and Linebacker. Her crew braved air raids, kamikaze attacks, and even a torpedo hit, earning her the nickname the Dry Eye for her uncanny ability to stay afloat despite sustaining heavy damage. After the Vietnam War, the Intrepid continued her service in a different capacity. She became a recovery vessel for NASA, fetching astronauts from the Gemini and Mercury missions when they splashed down in the ocean after their return from space. She was decommissioned in 1974, but her story was far from over. Today, the USS Intrepid serves a new purpose as the centerpiece of the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum in New York City. She is a floating testament to American fortitude and resilience, a tangible reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of freedom. Visitors can explore her flight deck, hangar deck, and even the island superstructure, getting a first-hand look at the machinery that powered this behemoth of a ship. In her 70-plus years of service, the Intrepid has seen more than her fair share of action. She has weathered the storm of war, braved the perils of space exploration, and come out the other side as a beacon of American history. The USS Intrepid, a beacon of American resilience, stands today as a monument to those who served and sacrificed. As we dock back at harbor, we reflect on the battleships that once roamed the high seas. We voyage through the decks of the mighty the USS Missouri, a symbol of power and resilience. We've explored the heroic USS Alabama, a testament to the valor of the Pacific Theater. We've walked the length of the Lone Star battleship, the USS Texas, a vessel that speaks volumes of the maritime prowess of the United States. We've also ventured into the belly of the USS Midway, the longest-serving aircraft carrier, a silent sentinel of the skies. And let's not forget the Fighting Wine, the USS Intrepid, a ship that embodies the spirit of combat and tenacity. These battleships have etched their names into the annals of history, their stories woven into the very fabric of our nation. These floating fortresses, now silent and still, continue to echo the tales of bravery and sacrifice of those who served aboard them. If you enjoyed this journey through the top battleship museums and want more of these adventures, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications to ensure you never miss an update from us.